Okay, hello everybody, it's Sarah, and before I get started with this video, first of all, I'm sorry if there's noise from the outside. They are like changing the whole street and it's been really loud and noisy for the past few weeks, which is kind of annoying. Then also I'm sorry that I'm still filming on my mobile, but my SD card still doesn't work really well, and I might make this like permanent and get a microphone for my mobile. I'm not sure yet. And the third thing is, I'm sorry, I know I said in my last video, although I think at this point no one's even expecting anything if I say anything, but I said that I would definitely upload regularly in July, and this hasn't happened. But this time I actually have quite a good excuse why I didn't do that. And that excuse is that I've been in and out of doctors' offices and of the hospital for the past month. And if you follow me on Twitter, you might have guessed already, because it was pretty obvious why I was at the doctor's. But long story short, I've been diagnosed with cancer. And I debated whether I should make a video or not. But for me, it's just like no use not talking about it, because I do want to continue making videos. So, and it's gonna be quite obvious once I start chemo what I have. And so for me, if I'm not saying anything, that will mean that I won't make videos during that time. And it just potentially could be half a year or more. And just didn't want that. Yeah, I am sorry if I'm struggling a bit with the English terms. I did try looking some of them up, but like Google Translate is not 100% correct always. And obviously I'm usually, when I'm talking about it, I'm not using the English but the German terminology. But anyway, the cancer I have is lymph cancer, and it's in my hip region. And it started a couple of months ago, and I didn't suspect anything back then, obviously, but I noticed that my lymph node was kind of like a lump, a pretty huge lump, and they told me to get it checked out and everything. And then at the beginning of July, I was told that I should get it operated so they can properly check it out, because there's only so much they can do without operating and without taking it out, which is why I was in hospital 2 weeks ago. And then I got out, and then I waited until they had it checked out and everything. And last week, pretty much exactly a week ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. And honestly, this might sound weird, but the first day was pretty hard. I did cry a bit. But the hardest part is kind of telling other people the whole thing. And since the second day, I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever, I have cancer. It's gonna be okay. And that like mindset proved right a few days later when I got like all the details, since it is only in the first stadium, the cancer, so it's easy to treat it. And the treatment probably won't last too long. I have to do chemo. I also heard from, because I have some friends who had cancer, and they had similar treatments to mine, like similar cancer to mine, and they were all like, yeah, it's not that hard. I mean, it is hard because you're constantly tired and you constantly see that you're sick because you don't have any hair. But in terms of the other side effects of the chemo treatment, it's not that bad anymore, and they have stuff they can give you that you don't feel nauseous all the time and all that. So yeah, that's that. If you think it's weird that I'm just so relaxed about this, for me, I talked about it with my mom as well, and for me it's kind of, it's not that I'm sick right now, it's that I start healing. And I started my first step healing last week, and it's gonna be a journey, and it's gonna be something that I experienced, and I know that I can take it this way and like it's not taking it seriously, but like being like, yeah, it's okay, because the type of cancer I have is not a very I mean, it is a very aggressive, but it's an easily treatable cancer, and it hasn't spread anywhere in my body, but it's just the one lymph node. So that's the reason why I can be this positive, and I don't want to imagine what it's like having a cancer and like getting the diagnosis that you won't have 100% of it being treated, and after the treatment it's gonna be gone and it's never going to come back, which was what my doctors told me. So yeah, that's also why why it's easy for me to talk about, and why all my friends are just really surprised that I don't mind talking about it. That's the story, and for me, just in my mind, I'm not sick, I'm just starting to heal right now. And yeah, that's it. I am starting chemo tomorrow. Oh god. Tomorrow I have to be in the hospital for a few days, because when I get my first treatment, they want to like kind of see my body's reaction. After that, I can just go in for a day. Also, it's really useful for me because I live 5 minutes on foot from the hospital. So it's a little stroll over there, and then I'm going back to my flat. But for now, I have to be in the hospital for 3 or 4 days. So I thought I'd share a little hospital TBR. And yeah, I have 3 books, which might be a bit ambitious for 4 days, but I really feel like reading, so let me just share them. First, a book that I wanted to pick up when all the hype was at its peak, but I didn't really read back then, so I didn't pick it up, and I only picked it up now, is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. And I'm pretty sure if you've been on BookTube for some time, you noticed the hype around this book. I actually don't know what it's about, except what I gathered is that it's by an African author and it's based on African culture or African cultures, which I think is really interesting, because just why does fantasy always need to be based on medieval Europe? And also, it's an own voices book, which is always amazing, and I just really wanted to pick it up. I wanted to see how fantasy works if it's not in the setting that we always know. So yeah, and I'll tell you after what I thought of it. Next, I have The Testament of Loki by Joanne M. Harris, which is a follow-up to The Gospel of Loki. And when I went to the bookshop to shop for books that I wanted to read in the hospital, I was so excited to see this book. And look at this cover. Just look at this amazing cover. And this is set after the Gospel of Loki, which ends with Ragnarok, which of course technically is the death of all gods. And then I also have Rune Light by Joanne M. Harris as well. I read the first book in the series, Rune Marks, when I was in hospital 2 weeks ago, and I did want to film a review, but then all the other diagnoses kind of got in the middle of it, and I had to prepare a lot of stuff for when I get out of the hospital again. So I'll probably do a joint review once I have read this book, but so far I can tell you I really like the first book. And this as well is set in the same world. It's kind of connected to the Gospel of Loki and the Testament of Loki, just in the way that you kind of have to know Norse mythology to be able to continue with this series. So you have to know about Ragnarok and everything, which I kind of guess is a negative thing, but it's not. If you know about Norse mythology, it's not necessary to read the Gospel of Loki or the Testament of Loki. And it's also set after Ragnarok, and it's kind of set in a world where the gods are slowly coming back, and there's a new god, and just a whole lot of intrigues and stuff going on. And this also has a beautiful cover. Okay, my phone just fell. That was it. I just wanted to tell you I have cancer, so don't worry if I'm suddenly here sitting with a wig. That's the reason. Also really amazing. In Austria, your insurance, your health insurance covers like up to 300 euros if you get a wig, if you have cancer, which I honestly think is amazing. So just for anyone thinking health insurance for everyone isn't an amazing thing, yes it is. But that's it for this video. I will see you again once I'm out of the hospital, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't hope you enjoyed this video, because no one should enjoy it when someone else tells you they have cancer, no matter how easily treatable it is or not. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know what else I should say, so I'm just gonna say I hope you enjoyed this video. I will tell you about my TBR and what I got around to reading when I come back from the hospital. If you want to be kind of more updated and like what I'm currently reading, how far I am with reading what I'm reading, you can follow my Twitter, my Instagram as well if you want to. All my social media anyway are in the links down below, and I really hope I'll see you soon. Bye!